10 Truths About Titanic. Welcome back to my channel, where I bring you some amazing and fascinating facts about different topics every week. Today we are going to talk about the most tragic yet iconic ship in the history of mankind. The Titanic. You might have watched the movie Titanic, but it's time to unravel some 10 short secrets, making it even more interesting. So, let's dive in. 1. Titanic was not the biggest ship. Despite being one of the most gigantic ships of its time, Titanic was not the biggest one. Her sister ship, called Olympic, was 5 feet longer and had a larger gross registered tonnage. However, Titanic was still the most luxurious and well-known ship of its time. 2. Lifeboats were in limited numbers. The Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats, which was just half of its total capacity for the people on the ship. It was because of the wrong interpretation of the maritime laws of that time. It resulted in a significant loss of life after the ship had sunk. 3. Titanic had a bad reputation for visible smoke. During its journey, Titanic gave off a lot of visible smoke, which was not just because of the engine room, but also due to the burning of bunker coal that had too much petroleum on it. That was the reason that the ship had a bad reputation for producing visible smoke during the journey. 4. The water was too cold for anyone to survive. The water in the North Atlantic was freezing cold, and anyone who fell under those waters would have died within a few minutes due to hypothermia. That's why only a small number of people in the lifeboats could survive. And many others died because they couldn't even swim. 5. Equipment failure happened on the ship. Before the tragedy happened, the Titanic's operators and engineers had found that one critical piece of equipment had failed. The heating system for the massive boilers was not working, which could have been the primary cause of the disaster. 6. There was a special funeral for Titanic's musicians. All the musicians on the Titanic's ship played on to comfort the passengers and ease their anxiety as the ship was sinking. Even as the ship went down, they continued playing until the end. There was a unique and separate funeral held for these musicians. 7. The tragedy inspired new safety regulations. After the tragedy of Titanic, many new safety regulations were developed to minimize the loss of life on the sea. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, established in 1914, was even more stringent than any of the maritime regulations. 8. Survivors were not welcomed home. When the rescued survivors of the Titanic went back home, they struggled to cope up with the trauma they had been through. Unfortunately, they couldn't find closure and relaxation as people asked weird and rude questions from them. 9. Titanic artifacts remain popular worldwide. Even after 100 years, the Titanic story still intrigues people around the world. Various museums exhibit the artifacts and belongings of the ship, and people in millions visit those exhibitions every year. 10. Titanic discovery made 2.5 miles deep. The discovery of Titanic's wreckage happened in 1985 when it was found at the bottom of the sea, 2.5 miles deep. The tragedy that had shaken the world to its core was discovered again, but in a much more profound and melancholic form. as we conclude this journey together. Remember that every ending is just a new beginning. Thanks for joining me. And I can't wait to see you in the next adventure. Bye.